You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. It's your boy, Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today we're back in the comic book business, baby. That's right. We're talking some dope independent comics, but it's really, my man here is a vet, true veteran, man. He's been in the game for a minute. He is rocking it. My man is a writer. He is a creator, and he has an amazing anthology coming up. When you hear about the number of creators involved in this project, it will blow your mind. I am telling you, it's amazing. So let me introduce this legend right here, the one, the only, with the best conversation in the green room I've ever had yet. The one, the only, Chuck Satterlee. Hey, follow me. How you doing?
Thanks, Al. I don't know if legend is good, but I have been around a minute. But thank you for the nice introduction.
My brother, you are a legend, bro. CS is in the building. We're about to rock out. We're gonna talk comics. We're gonna talk business. We're talking about dope projects. I mean, and an amazing anthology that is coming up. And mi gente, wait till again. When he told me this number in the green room, my fucking jaw dropped. I was like, oh my God. So I just picked it up in time before the intro. So before we get into anything, for those that just don't know about this amazing legend that we are looking at right now, that white hair legend, not me, the other guy, Chuck. All right. Talk to me, Chuck. Let the folks know where you were originally from. And most importantly, Chuck, this is the most important question you will ever be asked in your life. What is the first thing in fandom that you ever fell in love with?
Okay. I'm born, bred, raised Chicago. I'm a Chicago guy.
Down in the building, baby. Listen, it took a Brooklyn man like me, Al Capone, the other Al, to take over Chi-Town. I know. It's all right, bro.
Yeah, Chicago. So I'm a Chicago guy. I lived my 8 years out east for a little while in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, but most of my life in Chicago. So that's the first part. The second part of your question, the answer would be the first part of fandom that I ever fell in love with would have to be going to the Davis Theater in Chicago to see Star Wars in the theater in 1976. Everything was changed after that. And, you know,
I have no shame in saying I went to see it when it happened. I love it. Yes.
Rest in peace, James Earl Jones, by the way.
Bro. Yes, rest in peace, yo, Vader, man. Hey, Danny, big shout out. Yo, Danny's always coming on here, coming on first. So big shout out to Danny and with the comments. Yeah, for real. Oh, man, Chuck, man. All right, wait. Before we even move on to the next couple of questions here, it's true that the legend, Vader, Thulsa Doom and more, has passed away. Now, being that was your first movie series anthology you fell in love with, how do you feel about that passing?
Oh man, Hunt for Red October, Star Wars, Field of Dreams, Lion King. I mean, Field of Dreams. That speech, people will come, Ray. They will most definitely come. They won't know why they're doing it, and you'll say, "Sure, it's just $20." And I know I love him. In Hunt for Red October, he's like reaches over and he hits that button. He goes, "We were never here. This never happened." And Darth Vader, Commander, tear the ship apart till you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive. I mean, it's. I mean, we haven't even talked about Conan, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Earl Jones and Conan with where James Earl Jones had all the long hair and shit. Yeah, James Earl Jones is a he's a legend, and rest in peace, because man, what a life, what a life, what a voice. Did you ever hear him on David Letterman when he did the top 10 things that sound better when said by James Earl Jones?
Oh no, I gotta watch that.
Yeah,
Really?
look it up on YouTube. David Letterman, James Earl Jones top 10. It'll make you laugh because he says things like meow 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 meow
I
meow.
just-
You know, and
he says, "Where's the beef?"
no, he doesn't say that, but he does say things like and the Academy Award goes to dude.
Mm,
Where's
mm.
my car? So it's just it's really hilarious. But yeah, I'm gonna
Sorry, but
miss. I mean, I didn't know James Earl Jones. I'm just gonna miss having James Earl Jones on this planet because the planet was
absolutely,
better when he was in it.
absolutely, and to think he overcame stuttering, if you will, to have that iconic voice.
Yeah, yeah. James
Wow.
Earl Jones. Love
What a
James Earl
story.
Jones.
Yeah, all right. So, all right, bro. All right. So,
So Star
let's,
Wars, Chicago
yeah.
Star Wars, and then into James Earl Jones.
So there we go. All right. So wonderful. And all right. So, what did you have a tribe growing up in your geekdom? So you were a Star Wars fan. Did you have a tribe? Did you have boys, friends? I mean, that liked the culture that you were able to share with, or were you a lone wolf?
I wish I was in a lot of different group homes and
Mm,
foster homes, so I was brought up through the system.
really?
So
Wow.
I never really had like any um, peace or stability. So I didn't have friends for a long time. I was in a school called Mooseheart for a while, which was fucking terrible. But I did have friends there that I still have. I'm in a fantasy football league with some of those guys. Uh, but as far as like a geek tribe, that
Yeah.
didn't happen until later.
Gotcha. So, all right. So, how
In
that?
fact, comic books were like the way I would escape all of that. You know,
Thank you. I was about to ask that. So, how did comic books help you then in that journey? Because wow, I can't imagine. I mean, I grew up and I escaped through comics because again, I'll share openly. Growing up in a Latino household, it's loud, and you know, and shit pops off.
what?
Thank God for comic books and a fire escape in New York where I could, what? Y'all gonna do your shit over there. Do your fucking screaming. I go to the fire escape in my comics. I don't need that. So this is why again, Comic Crusaders podcast is just a whole love to kids like you, because if it wasn't for folks like you, where I could open up a book and just not be able to hear what I was hearing, is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can imagine your journey as a foster kid. So how did that help you?
Well, like at Mooseheart, for instance, let's say I had a few bucks or so. Well, before I went to Mooseheart, I was with my mother. My mother was a single mother in Chicago, and before I was into some of those homes. But so before I went to Mooseheart, my mother would give me like a buck or two back when the comics cost 25 cents. So I go to this
Yeah,
comic book
aging
store.
yourself. Don't do that, bro. When they were cheap. When they were cheap.
I'm I'm 54. I'm fine. I'm still young.
You look
54.
great. You don't look that,
Um,
bud. Look at me.
uh,
I'm 59.
yeah, I
You're
got a little
still
bit of gray.
black than me, bro. You're more black than me, though. Look at this. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, bro.
So but I'd get comics when I was younger, and I'd read them, and it would just I was alone a lot because my mom worked so many jobs. So, but when I went to Mooseheart and I was in there, it was terrible. But I would get a few bucks, and I would it was in Aurora, Illinois, and I would sneak off campus and get to a comic book store in Aurora, Illinois, buy comics, come back and read them, and so I would literally run away to buy comics, but I could escape, and when I wasn't allowed to have comics at Mooseheart, which was often, I would think up stories. So hence I ended up writing stories, so but yeah, that's comics. I credit comics with giving me some sanity in a world where I had no stability. I never felt safe. I had my head was on a swivel as a kid, wondering where I was going to sleep next, or where I was going to, who was going to punish me next for whatever stupid reason.
Oh,
Mooseheart had crazy punishments. Like we would go to this place called the Farm, which was a detention hall. That's where you wouldn't go to school. You go there, they bring your schoolwork to
wow.
you.
So is this Stranger Things or some shit? They're throwing
Yeah,
into
and
Mars?
Yeah, so you go to the farm, and one of the things I did on the farm as a kid was the farmhouse parent would have us in the winter. We had to shovel the snow off of a cornfield and then put it back. And then another thing we did was we had
What do you
to
mean? Some of
just
it off and put it
just
back.
nonsense work, you know. And then another thing we did was one time a house when I spent time at the farm a lot because I broke a lot of rules, um, but one time they had us move manure from wheelbarrows and put it onto around trees because it's good for fertilizer, but we weren't allowed to use shovels.
Oh fuck, nah, bro. You know what?
So,
You know what? Put me in lockdown right now because I ain't touching shit, literally. Right now, bro.
I literally had to touch shit, you know. And then we had this one.
Wow, are you serious, yo, bro?
Oh yeah, then we had. I mean, it's crazy
Yo,
though.
this
We
is
had
crazy.
we had this one house parent who liked
Achievement is
to
this?
punish all the boys. You know, he was just a weird dude. And today he'd be arrested, but thankfully he's dead. But he used to put us in the basement and all in our underwear and spray water on us and then make us scrub the floor in our white underwear. Tell me what
Yeah,
he was doing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
but
bro.
Mooseheart was a terrible
Yeah,
place.
bro.
But comic books were my escape. They helped me think of stories. They helped me think of heroes. They helped me think of
An
good
escape.
overcoming evil.
My God, bro. Yeah, and you were trying to overcome the evil that you were experiencing. And,
Yeah,
my,
yeah. So,
I'm so sad you went through some shit like that, bro.
you know what though? It can turn you two ways. You know, it could make you. And I have plenty of friends who ended up in prison. You know, because they didn't know how to adjust when they got out of Mooseheart. I have plenty of friends who are wildly successful. And I turned out to be, I'm not wildly successful, but I'm a decent guy. And I was able to open my home. My wife and I opened our home to some kids that needed it. And we have our own son and we have some other people that we call son. So you can go a number of ways and I'm happy with the way I went.
I love that, man. So you knew how to kind of understand where you came from and return that favor. Beautiful story right there. I mean, sorry the shit that you went through. I mean, fuck, I can't imagine. But the way you turned that around and still show love, um, shows what a wonderful human being you are. So now,
Well, thanks,
talk
Al.
to me about stepping into that creative level. I mean, when did you start taking it serious and getting out there? When did that happen? How did you even learn the process?
Okay, I'll do it as fast as I can. But so the first time I ever thought about it was I was reading a comic in '88 in college. I was a freshman, and my roommate, who I was an athlete, I was a goalkeeper in soccer, but my roommate was
What? Really? Hey, check you out.
real football. I love American football, but I'm a soccer guy at heart.
Oh,
But
no, no, it's football and it's football.
yeah, football, but I still love my Bears and Eagles, by the way.
Hey.
But anyway,
Oh my
so,
God. You know what? You look at on turn on this podcast right now. I'm a Giants fan. I'm
oh,
excited.
I'm so sorry about Daniel.
Oh shit, bro.
Oh, good Lord.
I love this guy right now. It has become my favorite guest ever right now. Yeah, I have no idea. All right.
But it was in '88. My roommate, who is a musician, I was complaining about some story I was reading, and I was like, "Man, I could write better than this." And he goes, "Why don't you?"
Ooh,
And that just it turned a switch, and I was like,
you
"Huh,
got mad. Say word. I
why
bet.
why don't I?" So I started thinking about it, and I started making up, actual like writing stories. Nothing really came about, and then I was. God, I was in my early 20s. I think I was newly married, if not engaged. I don't remember, but at the time, but I
Oh,
was
I
in a
don't know that.
I was in this comic book store, and it was in Wicker Park, Chicago, and
Yeah.
I was buying up all these different comics. R. Crumb, as much as I was buying up Marvel, Indie,
Yeah.
Underground, everything, and I brought it up, and the guy at the counter, he was bald. He had these John Lennon type sunglasses. He wore brass knuckles for his jewelry.
What?
His name was Bill Martin,
Oh
and
shit.
I didn't know that at the time, but he looks and he goes, "Those are some fucking eclectic comics you got there." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I want to write comics, so I'm trying to read everything I can." And he looks me over, and he pulls his glasses up and he goes, or down. He goes, "How much do you want to write comics?" And I go, "Pretty fucking bad." And he writes this address down and he gives it to me and he goes, "Be at that address tomorrow at 3:00. I swear to God, I said these words. I go, "Dude, if this entails me wearing leather underwear, you can fucking forget it, you know?" And and he goes,
Oh,
"Come,
man.
don't come, I don't care. If you come, that'll be cool." And so I went home. I was talking to I want to say she was still my fiance at the time, and because I'm still married to her. And she goes, "You're gonna go?" And I'm like, "I think I'm gonna go." And so I
You live in
went.
Montana, right?
I went and I go to this guy's house and he's got comic books up to the ceiling. No joke. He's a collector. He's
Yes.
bizarre. This dude, he's completely bizarre. And he's got like 17 cats. He's got and this is when TVs were large. You know, he's got
Oh,
TVs
you're
everywhere.
talking about the tube TVs.
Yeah. He's got a TV in his bathroom. He's got TVs ever, and it turns out he's just an enormous pot and heroin dealer, and so I end up going there, and he was like friends with I'm not going to name the names, but because of the,
Yeah.
but he was friends with a whole bunch of comic book people in Chicago at the time. All right. And
he in with the royalty of geekdom in Chicago.
yeah, but and he knew his shit, and he taught me how to write comic books. I wrote a screenplay. I wrote a screenplay about it called "Dime Bags and the Elements of Style," about learning how to write comic books from a bona fide actual drug dealer, and
Love this
and
fucking story right now.
and that's how I learned how to write comic books.
Yeah.
And through that
Was
whole
he a
group,
writer? Did he know what to do? Or was
oh
he
yeah,
that guy that he kind of
no, he never did the drugs himself. Yeah, man, when I was there, musicians, like big name musicians, aldermen would come
What?
and buy pot. Cops would come and buy pot.
Oh, you're there.
While I was there, and I wasn't allowed to deal with any of it. I had to sit in a literal, and I'm not kidding you, I'm not making this up, a desk, because I was at school, and
What?
and that's how I learned to write comic books. I kid you not.
Yeah,
So that's where I got that's how I learned.
that's it. You're official. You are the Snoop Dogg of comics. You are the G of comics, bro. It's a wrap. This is how you learn. This is gangster. Do you hear this? Do you hear this story, folks? This is insane right now. I fucking love
it. Is not a lie. I don't want. I'm not. I just don't want to say names who were friends.
You don't gotta say names, but
I could tell you that you would know every name I say. And it's not that they were doing drugs. I just don't want to associate them with drugs. I swear to God, most of them weren't doing drugs. They just hung out with Bill because he was one of the coolest cats ever.
I get it. Listen, I hang out with people that do certain things that I don't do. Listen, you do you. Just don't offer it to me. The moment you do, I'll punch in your face. I promise you.
Yeah, and then every Sunday, there people would go to his house to watch Bears games, and
my God.
and again, he didn't mix the comics and the drugs, So, but there was a bunch of guys from First Comics that would go there and watch. I through this, not at his house or anything, but through all that, I met John Ostrander and Paul Kupperberg and all those dudes.
Oh my God! Look at these names. Let me get a bloom. Holy shit!
Yeah, so it was cool. It was cool.
When you got in and started building,
I'm not in yet.
You're in. You're doing your thing. Like, what did it take for you to build the team? So this is your first project?
No. I just meant I've done a lot of projects. I've just said I've never really broke in yet. But
listen, bro, you're Chuck. Indie's indie, and if your name has been on a book in indie, you broke in. Stop it. Give yourself some credit. but now you're gonna do something even bigger.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about the indie angle before we go into
Sure.
just
Sure.
2 minutes. So, when you submitted your first book and got that shit printed, talk to me. Like, how was that feeling? Like, how was that
Well,
feeling? Like, how did you even build that?
my first comic was self-published. It was Agony Acres. The coolest claim to fame I could say about that was I brought an ash can. For those of you young people who
Ash can, you motherfuckers.
are in this, we used to go to this thing called a copy store, and we would go and we would make copies at it, and we would. There you go.
A little ass book. I mean, look at him.
There you go. There you go. And we would show it to people. So I showed my ash can of Agony Acres to George Perez, and he read all of it, all of it. And he told me, he goes, "I'm going to ink all your covers because this is good." And
Why
George
do you
Perez.
think I have this? You know, remember this is his first published work. It was Deathlock.
So George ended up inking all of our covers from issue 2 on
What?
for Agony Acres. Yeah, it's true
Yo,
story.
Chuck, yo, bro.
So
Chuck, man, don't give a fuck. The big boss, Satterlee in the business.
But my first
Damn.
accepted, like submitted and accepted work was Speakeasy Comics, and that.
Oh, I know Speakeasy. Nice.
Yeah, and I had 2 books there. One called Of Bitter Souls, that was drawn by, if you know your comic lore, Norm Brayfogle.
What? How the fuck did you get Norm on your?
That's a long story, but Norm ended up becoming a very good friend of mine. I miss him dearly. He passed away in 2018.
Yes, he did.
I did a Kickstarter that collected all of our Of Bitter Souls work a couple years ago. It's a big hardcover. Oh, it's right here.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna put you right here.
It's a big hardcover.
Hold on, Chuck. Don't dare move. I need the internet to agree with me right now.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
So yeah, it's a big.
Oh, look! Show me the girl. Oh my God! Look at that. She thick. And wait. Oh my! Ooh! Look at that great paper.
But we raised like 24,000. I wanted to honor Norm, so we put together a really nice book honoring him, and we
lost a partner.
Oh, he was great. And then we did Smoke and Mirror, and that was both at Speakeasy. And then I moved to Marcosia. I did a couple of work for hire books there, Kong, King of Skull Island, and I did a book called Lexington Chronicles, book called The Heretic, and then a book at Desperado. I think it was through Image or IDW, which was co-created with Phil Hester, called 13 Steps. And
there we go. Okay.
And then I didn't do too much. I kind of stepped away. I became, I was a dad, and I needed to concentrate on that, because knowing my childhood, I wanted to be a good dad. So I stepped away from comics, but I recently, the past few years, have come back. I just finished Working Class Wizards through Band of Bards, and next year I have a whole bunch of books coming out.
I love Band of Bards. They send such a positive message out there. Not for nothing. I speak to the guys sometimes on my personal X account. I'm like, yeah, you're so positive. We've hit each other sometimes, like, yo.
Yeah, that was a nice experience.
Like good publishers out there that do good things.
Yeah, it was a nice experience. And then and so I have other books coming out next year. I can't really say, but next year I've got.
That's all right. You know what? Hold up. If you want to tease, I need you to pull up a stripper pole first and start dancing and talk about what you're going to buy the tease about. What's going on here, bro? Are you gonna make money before we're about to talk about pots and panels, bro? Come on, bro.
Let's go. Let's talk about pots and panels.
All right, you want to talk about pots and panels, folks?
I do.
We're gonna bring this baby up right now. Let me go ahead and share my screen. If it wants to, of course, agree with me, because you know what it is. This is we're live, folks. I don't play. I don't give a shit about that. Like, this is what it is. This is the real talk. There we go. Pots and panels, baby, and that's the Kickstarter link right below, right there. Talk to me about this, bro. I know I teased a little bit. Like, I was surprised by the number of people you saw were involved.
Okay.
Repeat that number.
Sure. There are 85 creators involved in Pots and Panels. Pots and Panels is unique. It is not only so what it is right off the bat. Pots and Panels is a collection of 50 food-themed short stories. It's more than that, though, because in addition to the short stories, the creators in the book all submit a recipe.
What?
So it is also a cookbook. So it's food-themed stories and a cookbook all in one. It's going to be over 400 pages. And
Damn, 100.
yeah, and
Yeah, love it.
yeah, it is pretty amazing. You know what? I'll send you a link, but kill the link after you go to it, and don't show the actual.
No one will see this link. This is for me,
I'll,
folks. I'll tell
you
you,
can
especially
show if you can show the page. I don't know if you can show the page without showing the link, but I'll send you the link.
if you send me the link and you tell me what page to go to, and I'll post on the chat like I mentioned to you before.
Yeah.
See you the right one.
So you can see some of the stories in that. But it's would you like to know some of the creators in the book?
Absolutely. This is what we
Okay.
listen. We're here to listen, folks. This project is upcoming, and I know you guys are gonna have some money. I mean, it's the holidays coming up. I know you saved, so this is gonna be the ideal gift.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Book nerd in your life. Could you imagine a comic book anthology that is created by 85 plus creators, right? That includes recipes. Listen, I'm a wheat head. I'll be honest. And I'm a comic book
I
head.
enjoy the occasional gummy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm a comic book head. So if you're giving me as a wheat head a comic book with recipes that I could read and all
There
of a
you go.
sudden
When you get the munchies.
start
Yeah.
cooking. Oh my god. Yo, my gente. This is the Satterlee cookbook of the business. If you guys don't know, y'all better recognize like fucking real quick. You know, yes, just quick. Look at that. Look at that artistry. Look at that beauty.
That's a story that was written by Stephen Grant, Punisher. The Stephen Grant. It was drawn by an amazing artist named Antonio Rojo. It's called Toppings. So the book will have a foreword by Powers co-creator and one of my favorite creators of all time, Mike Oeming. It will have an afterword written by one of the writers in the book, Mark Resnicek, he's the drummer for the band the Toadies. If you remember the Toadies from the 90s. Now, creators in the book: Phil Hester, Tim Seeley, Steve Niles, creator of 30 Days of Night, Neil Clyde. Let's see here. Stephen Grant, Ron Mars, Andy Kuhn. We've got Hillary Barda. We've got it goes on and on. There's Eric Palicki, Neil Clyde.
Shit, bro, look at this guy.
We've got independent creators like Charlie McAvoy, Travis Gibb.
That's my homie, Big Charles, baby. Yeah,
Travis Gibb. We've got
so many of these people. I love it.
We got Marcus Nasso, who is the writer of By the Horns. Who by the way better win a Ringo Award at Baltimore, I hope.
Let's go.
We got Mario Candelaria. We've got Nicole D'Andrea. We've got it just goes on. Jeremiah Scheich, Richard Fairgray.
Oh, Big Rich been on this so many times, like 3 times on my podcast. I love Rich. He mad funny. He get a little crazy sometimes, but I love it. You know.
We also have a fellow podcaster. I think you guys are all friends, right? You're not in competition. Brad and Lisa Gullickson from the Comic Couples.
Oh, really?
Comic Book Couples Counseling. Yeah, they have a story in this.
Oh yeah, I've seen them in so many places. Salute. No, listen, for me,
John Westhoff.
I don't believe in competition, my brother. We're all here to celebrate amazing creators.
Absolutely.
So we all be part of the village, like I mentioned before, right? It takes a village. So let's go as a village. Let's support our people. I'm not in competition. I'm not competing
Oh,
with. If you feel you're competing with me, then you really must be insecure. To be honest, because I'm not competing with nobody. To be honest,
we,
I'm saying this live on this podcast right now. I'm not competing with nobody. I do this because I love this. Because I love
absolutely.
people like Chuck. I mean, look what he's doing, yo. I
We
mean,
got
this is
Andrew
cool.
Calvary, by the way, the founder and publisher of Battle Quest comics. They do great stuff.
Oh my God, he said Battle Quest. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yo, you see what I'm saying? It's like, yo, homie talking about great shit. Look at this artistry. Even this related to food, I'm kind of digging it. And this picture right here reminds me of Coney Island, like the Nathan's Hot Stand for some
That
odd reason.
cover is by a fine artist named Shane Swink. He doesn't do very many comics, so he's been a friend of
Oh,
mine for
really?
about as long as I've been married, longer than I've been married, and that's a long time.
Oh, wait, so he came first. Okay.
Yeah. We got Chad Bowers. He's done a lot of work with Rob
Oh, I know
Liefeld.
Chad's artwork. Yes.
He's a great writer.
Right.
We got Ron Joseph, Brendan Deneen, the founder of Scout Comics, a longtime friend. I don't know if
Oh,
I mentioned Ron Mars. We've got a Jason Michalski, a whole bunch of guys, a whole bunch.
yeah,
I could go on and on and on.
So talk about building this project. I mean, how did you build such an arsenal of amazing creators? And then, like, when do we expect this baby to go live?
Okay, well, I've been around a minute, as you mentioned in the introduction.
You're a vet, bro.
And
You're a vet. You're a vet.
so
No,
over the years, I've met a
hold
lot
on.
of people.
I just want to say one thing, like, folks. You know what I mean? Just because you may not be familiar in the big two scene, like my man has been around. He's been working, so you gotta respect, son. Like on some real shit. Like you gotta look back on people's history sometimes, and like when you see what homie has done, you're gonna be, oh shit,
Well, I
oh shit.
appreciate that.
Just show that love, show that respect, and respect creators like this that are actually
Well,
humble. You man humble. You don't really share. I love this. You're like you man quiet. I'm doing this. All right, but like you done so much. So just thank you for being in the business and doing what you've done for the time.
I appreciate you guys, man. Podcasters make it so that we can get the word out. So I appreciate you.
It's
But
not
yeah,
just podcasting. I got my website too. So it's websites, it's podcasting, it is social media, it's everything. So it's like people need to understand that when you have something, use every fucking channel available to you to promote the people that you appreciate. So whether it's video, social, website, whatever the fuck it is, show it off. Support the people you love. Support the people that you appreciate. This is the most important thing right now because fuck with everything that's going on. Like we need to keep getting the team because this world is crazy enough, and sometimes we need to kind of deviate so we can get back into the reality. And Chuck is bringing that.
well, thank you. So yeah, I've been around a long time, so I've known a lot of these people for a long time, and it was mainly just hey, would you like to be in it? And a lot of people said yes. So that's what happened, and then it just kept growing and growing. In fact, we had to cap it at 50. We could have gone higher, but
Yeah, bro. How dope is that? I've always told people that's the thing you got to do. At the worst, if you ask, you're gonna get a no for now.
yeah,
But
you
gotta
don't
ask,
you don't
right?
get if you don't ask. I mean, the sports analogy to that is Wayne Gretzky's: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Um,
100, bro.
but in sales, and I'm in insurance sales in my day job, but in sales you don't get if you don't ask. You got to ask for the sale. So so I just asked, and everyone said yes. So that's how it came about. What was the second part of your question?
Well, no, I actually want to ask something different now because
Okay.
I'm looking at this artistry, right? Very 50ish, 60ish, stylish look
Hmm.
on here. Purposely done?
Oh yeah, it was one of the ideas of one of the people I originally came up with the idea with, but who's not with the project right anymore. But I loved it. I love retro,
Yeah,
and
bro.
and the artist Shane. When I told Shane what our idea was for the cover, he told me that he had just, because he's a fine artist, so he has a shit ton of different reference materials. He said that he had just unearthed in his collection a big pile of old cooking and house magazines, home magazines. So it was just like kismet, it was perfectly timed. So yeah, he just used some of those magazines as inspiration,
and fodder for the inspiration.
and we kind of went suggestive, you got the milkman with the milk with the kind of like shit-eating grin, what they're about to do. And then if you look closely, the guy's reading a true crime comic with
somebody get murdered
with a character without a head, and that character, who by the way is public domain now, Nancy, but her head is actually in the pot being cooked. But yeah, you got the young girl with the popsicle and the kid with the hot dog, and it's all kind of suggestive. We're having fun with it, but the book will be designed around that whole diner aspect, so the graphic design will be based around that. And but yeah, we have horror stories, we have comedy stories, we have every genre, and we have a shit ton. We have a shit ton of recipes.
I have this PowerPoint here that I created, right? It's based on some images. Like, talk about the story. Like, look at this guy. This reminds me of Garbage Pail Kids, and when I see the cop, it's like Garbage Pail Kids versus the cops.
Well, it's kind of based on in the 1950s. You had a lot of those big figurines on the top of buildings, and we just went with the Shane. I shouldn't say we. Shane went with the idea. This is some of the art that'll be in the graphic design of the book. But Shane had, you remember our conversation pre-show about police officers, and that would be it. If you get my drift.
Oh my God, folks, please read this, because I don't record shit and I don't share shit. All right, this is between us. But yeah. All right. Basically, you told me, I think you're gonna dig this shit then. And then look, who is this homie eating corn? He's eating that ethanol. What's going on?
Well, I think this was funny because it was just an image that Shane created, but Phil Hester chimed in at one point and said something like, "Someone stop giving my childhood pictures to this team," because Phil's from Iowa, as is Austin Alan Hamlin, who's one of the organizers of the project, like Jason Mashowski and Carmelo Carmera, but Austin is from Iowa as well. Austin has a book right now from Band of Bards called Big Gun Stupid Rednecks. So
shout out to Band of Bards, but I guess, hey, man, love it.
Yeah,
beautiful artistry right here, though. This is the great picture. So Americana, though, I kind of think, because again, eating corn and all this shit, you know what I mean?
That's just Warhol inspired with another suggestive picture by Shane.
Think?
Yeah. So
yeah, but I love the pixels on that shit. That's it. Yeah. All right. I dig it. Folks. I'll move on real quick. I don't want to get crazy on this one because so many things you could say. But
yeah. There's a suggestive milkman again.
Yeah. In Spanish, we're talking about the leche, and that sounds bad, so I'm gonna move that on.
That's no. That's just same image playing with different images.
Yeah, but I like that though. I mean, with that, what is this? How the book looks with that very 60-ish, 70-ish?
Well, the design, the graphic design of the book will be like that, but all of the stories are different. They're all different, but like the design of all the recipes will be very dinerish 1950s style design. But yeah, the stories themselves are completely like they're all over the map. Different styles, different artists, different genres. We have everything from cartoony, all ages stories right up to stories where, Steve Niles, his story, the last page in that story drawn by Damian Worm.
Look, I really gotta get the broom. Jesus Christ, bro, it's mad dusty here. Every name he drops, bro. This guy's like dropping legends, working with him.
Well, I mean, this isn't name dropping. This is just telling you who's in the book.
And not about the name. I'm fucking with you.
I'm kidding.
I'm just saying, it's like, you got legends on this. Chuck, how the fuck did you do this? Honestly,
Like I said, I just asked. I think two of the
I love
most
that.
warped stories are from Steve Niles and from one of the organizers, Austin Allen Hamlin. They're just the ending of those two stories are just those people are sick puppies, man.
That's how we
Yeah,
sell these. You heard, folks. We got legendary stories from legendary creators that are gonna about to mind bone you right now. Like, yeah, you better support this project, baby. I mean, look at this. I mean, that artistry is beautiful.
and
You
then
know how much
and then we have a great story by an artist named Alman
and
Rodriguez.
look at his art though. Like, yo, look
Oh
at this
yeah,
art, bro. Like, bro. No, yo,
that's
bro.
all Shane Swink, man. That's all
I'm
Shane
just
Swink.
excited about it. When I see shit like this, I am a child of the 80s. You feel me?
Hmm.
So when I see shit like this and being a horror fan, it's like, yo, I know I fucking feel you 150% where the hell you're going.
Yeah,
You
this
know
is
what I mean?
this
Yeah,
is like
yo.
no anthology that's ever been
Yeah,
produced.
bro.
So
Bro.
I'm
Nah.
not saying it's better than
The
every
beauty.
anthology. I'm not saying it's worse. I'm saying it's just unique. That's
No,
all.
you know what, my brother? F that, Chuck. Don't give a fuck. Let them know. It is the best anthology you ever seen in your life.
Well,
You
I look up to people
support it,
like,
baby,
for
right now.
instance, Travis Gibb, who puts together some great anthologies,
Oh,
and
oh,
um,
oh, bro, you're about. Thank you for mentioning my homie, independent legend and boss. Yo, Travis. Yo, big salute. I've had him. He's a man.
he's salute to Travis. He's a great guy. He puts together some great anthologies. There are great anthologies out there. We're just trying to make ours unique. That's all.
And fantastic.
In the
Make
same way that Travis has thought up a great, he has such a great series going with the Cthulhu invades stuff. We're just trying to do something unique, like Travis did. You know.
so talk to me. Are you gonna be doing any like Comic Con appearances or anything
Uh,
going
I'm hoping
on
to next
here?
year. I imagine I'll be doing the whole thing next year. I want to do C2E2, Baltimore next year. I'd like to do Heroes Con at Charlotte. I'd love to. I really want to make San Diego next year. We'll see how it all goes. Right after this book, I'm doing a Kickstarter for a trade paperback for a book I did. But then after that goes right into the next anthology. The next anthology is going to be called Adthology, and it'll be a salute to comic book ads from the 50s to 80s.
Beautiful. I love it. Actually, shit. I think it was Johnny that had Travis. I gotta get Travis on my joint if I haven't had him. Holy crap. It was
Well,
Johnny. I was in the panels. He was tired. I'm so sad about that. That my boy. I was in the panels.
Gib will come on your show. He's a good guy. He's a great guy.
I'm sure he would because again, we support indie. It's what we do here. And I mean,
Yeah,
look at this beautiful book, folks. Look at this artistry. Look at this panel work. I mean, everything. And then, as he said, the recipes. I mean, a menu even like this. This is the
yeah.
most important thing you gotta do today. And the links are below. So you gotta follow the Kickstarter pre-launch. So what do you expect
Please
to,
do
to
that.
launch?
October 1st. In 20 days. 20 days.
You hear this? You have time to put that money aside. So don't give
You
me no
do.
bullshit, my Crusaders. Save that money. This is gonna be a project you want to get behind. Especially if you're wee heads, you're gonna have some new munchies to munch on. You feel
Oh
me?
yeah, man. Come on. That's it. That's the thing. You're gonna if you like a little edible or a little weed, you need to have pots and panels because it will be able to. You'll be able to. There'll be plenty of recipes in there
Expand
you
your,
can make
your, your
easily and solve your hunger problems, your
You're
munchies.
gonna be able to expand your gourmet resume.
And then, what the cool thing about those recipes is that every creator also gives a 1 to 2 paragraph story of why they submitted it. Why is that recipe
No
so
way.
different? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
bro.
so
Chuck, I love
you get
it.
some insight from every creator about why they put that in there. Is it a family favorite? Is it because they remember eating it when they were stoned in college? Is it did their mom? I'll give you here's something. in the book, Mark, who I spoke about, who's writing the afterword, and he has a story and a recipe. Mark Resnick from the Toadies. He's incorporating a whole story about something called sauerkraut and dumplings, and the whole story is based around that. It's a very personal story, but in his recipe, we actually have the scanned recipe cards that his mother wrote to him to make the recipe. So
Oh
it's
wow.
literally in the recipe page. So you get to so there's really nice personal things like that in the book as well. So
Yeah,
it
bro.
it is a unique anthology to say the
Chuck,
least.
Chuck, if we do a part 2, I've had this recipe that my mom gave me 20 years ago when I was married, right, for the first time. And she said, "Here, this is how you make, white rice and this, that, the other." I have the recipe written down exactly as she told me.
I tell
So
you
if you
what,
do
for
another
having
book,
me,
I
no,
will
no,
fucking
no.
send
Listen to me. I'll tell you what, right now, send me it. I will put it into the recipe section,
you.
and you will be in the book with just a recipe. It won't be a story as well, but
It's
I
limited.
will include your recipe, and we'll pop a Comic Crusaders
Oh,
logo on the recipe page.
you hear this, guys? You hear this? This is the man. But I'm gonna send you Mama's recipe.
Yeah,
Um,
send it to
that,
me.
that way you
You got my email and my DMs, so send it to me that way, and then we'll get your recipe in the book with the Comic Crusader podcast logo on the recipe page.
I love it, folks. This is what it is. This is what I need you to do, folks. Follow this pre-launch right now. Kickstarter pre-launch, monsters and midway, pots and panels. You know what I mean? It's some real shit. Check out the socials at Chuck Comics Chuck at Comics Chuck. All right, you hear me? And then we have 2 websites here because my man is the boss. He's a boss. He know how to sell the business. So you got 2 websites you need to put as your favorites, real quick, my fellow Crusaders, and that is potsandpanels.com. And secondly, it is, and I love this name. I gotta ask about this before we go. Defective Comics with an X. All right, no CX, no CS. X, defectivecomics.com. So talk to me about Defective. Is that your baby?
Yeah, it's my I don't know, for lack of better, it's mine and Jason Michalski. It's our, for lack of a better word,
Yeah, I love
studio
Kyle.
or
Okay.
label. I came up with it because of Norm Brayfogle. He was one of the greatest Batman and detective comics artists of all time. And
And
when I,
Johnny the Machine Hughes would agree with that. My homie. Much love.
and so I just wanted, so I was thinking about him, and I was thinking, you know, uh, a lot of us comic book people are looked at when we're younger as kind of defective, because
Yeah, yeah.
we're geeks and whatever. So I was thinking to myself, Norm Detective Comics, being looked at as defective, so I put it together and made Defective Comics. So
I love it. I love it. So my brother, last 2 questions before we go. Listen, the con season, it's starting to slow down. We only have a few more to go. Are you doing any appearances at any cons where we will get some signed books or anything? What's popping?
oh, no, nothing for the rest of the year outside of a couple small shows in Chicago. I'm going to be at a library this next weekend, but the cool thing about the
What's
library
the
is,
library? Talk about it. Let's go. I
well,
want people to show up.
I
Talk
gotta
about it.
remember
We
it.
are Chi-Town fans.
I don't, I can't. I want to say it's in. Um, Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, man. Because it is. I want people to see you pick up those books. I need them to understand what an amazing creator you are, especially on the indie circuit when you go on your own because it's not easy. People need to understand that when an
Here we
independent
go.
when the creator goes on their own, this shit is not easy, man.
So it's the local authors fair, and
So
it'll be at um,
talk to me.
Berwyn
Talk to me.
Berwyn Public Library, local authors fair in Berwyn, Illinois, at the Berwyn
Makes
Public Library, and I'll be sharing a table with Gene Ha.
Oh my God, really? With the hot
Yeah.
man itself? Epa.
Yes. So that's kind of cool. And then at the end of the month on the 26th, I'll be doing the Independent Comics Expo run by John Westoff. And
Where is
that
that?
that will be at a bar. Um, I'm looking it up right
For not
now.
for nothing, my brother. I went to an independent Comic Con this year in Connecticut that was hosted at the college. And let me tell you, I did 30 interviews on the spot. And it was one of the most amazing events to see so many independent creators in one location, especially those that I've interviewed in the past. So it was like, yeah, I felt like a celebrity almost, brother.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look up John's Twitter page. That'll have it. Because I don't remember everything off. Oh, you know what?
Come
I'll
on
look up
through,
his
bro.
email. It'll take me 2 seconds. I'll look up his email.
Look up
And
his email because again, this is the whole thing. I want people to support independent creators, especially like yourself. You got this fire project, you know what I mean? Pots and panels, 85 folks, 85 creators. You hear this number? How
here it
fucking
is.
crazy is that?
It's called Indie Comic Expo 2.
Okay.
Um, and it is
For when? Let us know. You gotta get them
it
tickets.
is 26th of September 2024. That's later this month. It's at Reggie's Rock Club, 2109 South State Street in Chicago. And the
Woo!
cool part is one of the really great comic book creator, Dan Doherty. He'll be his band will be playing there, and some of
No,
the people in attendance are going to be Mike Norton, who a lot of people know,
nice. Yes.
Marcus Nasso, who's the creator with Jason Muir for By the Horns. Winston Gambro will be there. Ray Wagner, Jim Terry, artist for a whole bunch of books. Let's see, there'll be Wells Thompson, myself,
Nice.
Eric Cockrell,
We've spoken of Wells before. Yep.
and Jason Ford. Oh, Damon Hampton, who was part of the
Hey,
DC Milestone Initiative. So yeah, a bunch of great guys.
wonderful. Wonderful. So before we go, what's the last piece of advice you would give it to any creators trying to come to the game nowadays?
Well, I think it's a cliche. People say it all the time, but the bottom line is um, if you want to make something, do it. No, that's not right. I have a piece of advice, and it's gonna be some tough love, and that is this, because
Sure. Do it. Do it.
and this, I really feel like this. And if you're going to make comics, surround yourself not with people who tell you all the time that everything you do is great, because you don't need that. Surround yourself with honest people. All right, people that are a true friend will look at you in the eye if you wrote something that's just complete shit and tell you, Chuck, this is complete shit. And listen, don't look for compliments. Look for um, people to look for counsel. Don't look for compliments. Look for
Constructive
counsel. You know,
criticism.
look for criticism. Try to get better, because you don't get better if everyone around you tells you that everything you do is good. My wife has been married to me 30 years, and she has no problem telling me whatsoever, good Lord, this is shit. Um, you know, uh, I have
Love it.
friends. I write all the time with one of my. We've been friends for a number of years now, but I write all the time with Jason Michalski, um, and he's Defective Comics with me, and he has no problem whatsoever in telling me when I have a really fucking stupid idea, and I appreciate that, and I tell him. So look for truth tellers. Don't look for people just to tell you you're great. If you want to
Yes,
if you want to get better, look for people who are gonna tell you the truth.
I agree. You hear that, folks? That is the absolute truth. Look for those truth tellers in your life. That listen, when you do something, it's cool. Um, but when you have a cheerleader, make sure that cheerleader is cheering you because it's good, not because they want to make you feel good.
I mean,
You know?
exactly. I mean, look, we all have people who will. my mother to this day, she's 83 years old. If I draw something, I'm sure she'll throw it on the fridge. But I'm a shitty artist. You know what I mean? But my mother will put her.
You still got a fridge, mama. God bless to mama, bro.
She had a hard life, but she will still put her son's drawing on the fridge. But her son's drawing is shit. So don't look to mom. Look to the truth tellers. Your mom and your dad. Unless you have a hard ass set of parents, and that's fine, but just look for people that are going to help you grow, not stifle you with you're great, you're the best, you're the next coming of Alex Ross. Let's face it, Alex Rosses don't come along too often, so just do your own thing, create your own stuff, do your best, and look to improve. Don't get complacent.
I love it, folks. This is what you got to do today. I'm going to start off once again. Follow on the socials at Comics Chuck, all over the socials. Then you got to go to 2 websites, which is potsandpanels.com, the comics with an X.com. And lastly, the most important thing you got to do is stay tuned for the launch of this Kickstarter. Monsters and Midways, Pots and Panels. Stay tuned. This is the comic you need in your life. This is going to be a wonderful Christmas gift, actually, for these comic fans in your life, I think.
I agree with you.
Make it happen. It is. 85 creators. Respected. New, old, everything. So you're putting on people to the next gen. So thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Al. I appreciate it, man. I'm happy to have been here. And give me that recipe.
Don't you worry. I'm gonna tell Mama send it over to me to make sure I get it right, because I don't want to fuck it up.
Okay.
But with that, mi gente, you know what to do. All right, I've been showing it off. I'm gonna show it one more time. Chuck, follow my homie Comics Chuck on all the socials. Comics Chuck, that's with the S. All right. But now, when you go to the websites, it's postandpanels.com.
Pots and Panels. Yeah.
Comics with an X.com.
Yep.
And of course, it's this project. Stay tuned so we could make it rain, baby.
If sign up for pre-launch, please.
That's not my ass clapping. That's me clapping with my hands. Don't be perverts. Right? The Kickstarter. Monsters and Midways / Pots and Panels. Please support this homie. He be in the business. He's a vet. He knows what we need. He knows the entertainment we need. And that's what the type of people I appreciate. So Crusaders, all of you that have tuned in, thank you. I see your numbers. He don't, but I do. And I'm saying thank you very much for hanging out, listening to what this project is about, and even more. And when this happens, please, the most important thing is that you got to support these independent creators, because without them, we didn't have a future in the industry, to be honest. It's like, these are the cats. These are the guys that are doing things. These are the guys that are making it happen. Without them, we don't got nothing anymore. So support people like Chuck. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Stay tuned. Wepa! Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.